Alright, welcome back guys. What's your first time here? I'm Vision Hero Bronner bringing you guys another video. Taming you guys my review for Free to Walk Dead Season 7 Episode 1, The Beacon. Now Free to Walk Dead is something instant. Don't forget to hit subscribe button down below, hit that bell icon, to miss some more Free to Walk Dead content from me moving forward. Now let's begin. So, Free to Walk Dead is finally back. We got Episode 1 of Season 7, The Beacon. Now this is a heavily focused strand episode. Now, I honestly really did enjoy this episode. It was a very strong premiere, I believe. Now, we first off this episode with this new character who we later find out is named Will. We see his daily life within the post-Fallout Texas world. And I really like it. It gives us a good chance to see what's happened to Texas. And it just kind of lays out the foundation, gives us a good kind of eyesight into what's happened to this barren wasteland. So it's a really good way to open it up. Eventually, he runs into Strand, or Strand's people run into him, and they bring him back to the tower. Now, you got Strand, who's introduced. We got Howard now as well. He's like his second in command. And we got, him introducing Strand and him having this back and forth, And you got Strand, who kind of tells him how he came to this place, how he's, building this place up to be a new hope or whatever. And he kind of gives Will this grand tour of the place, and however, he tells Will that, he hasn't passed orientation or whatever. And that only people who will be able to contribute to the group will be allowed to stay at his community, and Will won't be able to contribute, so he's going to kick him out. Which is interesting concept, I guess. I understand the Strand's point there, but also it sounds like a weird way of running things at the same time. But that's beside the point. So, we move forward, and you got Will, who's leaving, and he gives Strand I think it was rosary beads, I couldn't really tell, but to hold on to for luck. However, Strand recognizes them because they're what he gave Alicia, so he questions Will as to where he got them, and Will tells him that he found them got them outside the barrier or whatnot. So Strand decides to go with him and takes a group of his soldiers and goes out of Will to search. They end up being ambushed by a group of survivors called Stalkers. Strand's entire group is killed, and he and Will end up having to flee. Now, again, great move there. Really like how they show these new possible antagonists, because I feel like they were, like I said, we already know Strand's being built up to be the antagonist, but for the Stalkers, they could be one of those whole the enemy of my enemy is my friend. They are most likely going to be gate guardians for within the season and have some kind of use, but we'll have to just see what that use will be later on. But they move on, and at this point you got Will who mentions Alicia to Strand, and you got the two of them who ends up having some back and forth with each other. They end up going to the bunker because that's where Will says he's from, where Alicia was, which is a great back and forth here between the two of them. We find out that Will was in the bunker there. He worked for, I think, the governor or something of Texas, or senator, I forget exactly what it was, but they were in the bunker that Teddy was at. However, when Teddy's group found them, they pretty much killed the governor and everybody else there within the bunker except for Will. That's what I understand. So yeah, we got that, and they end up arriving at the bunker, find it abandoned, and Will says something must have gone wrong. They had enough supplies in there to last them for a while. So they end up doing surveying the area, and they end up coming into, I feel like this is what would be the command center of the bunker or whatever. And Will finds a note left on the door that says Padre. Now, we know Padre is going to be an important use. We know an episode title is coming up with that name, so it's going to have some kind of importance there. However, Will says he doesn't know what this is. He's not even sure if it exists, and even if they could find it, it's most likely too good to be true and dangerous. So that was a very interesting aspect. And you got the two of them who decide to head back. They end up holding up in a lighthouse after Strand nearly kills Will, and the two of them end up having this back and forth between each other with, Strand saying, look, this is who I am, I like this episode because it builds off of the Strand character. We get to see where his mindset is this episode. He is going back to that Strand-esque view. He's willing to throw Will away just to save his own hide. So it's a really good back and forth here with these two characters, where we get to dive more into Strand's where he is at this point, and we get to see how this is just he's doing this to prove to everybody that he can do this, and that's all he really wants to do. He's trying to prove that he's able to do this without any of the other people around him. So that's a really cool and interesting aspect to Strand, and it's definitely I feel like it definitely fuels his motivations for the season moving forward. However, Water, they end up having to dispatch a group of walkers, and these walkers end up being from the bunker that Alicia was in. You got Strand who goes out to kill him, and you got Will who uses the lighthouse beacon right there to help guide him. However, it goes out halfway through, and the two of them pretty much take out walkers and whatnot after the fact. And the two of them, kind of bond there, and they decide to take back to the tower where Strand is and use as a beacon. Now, this is a very interesting part here, because we get to the final part of the episode. You got that whole thing set up. You got Will who says, look, I can tell, he knows where Strand is, but he's telling him, look, once Alicia finds this place, she'll get to you. She'll turn you around. I can see where you are, but Alicia can help you. She'll save you. However, at that point, you got Strand 2 pretty much takes Will and throws him off the edge of the roof of the tower, and he falls to his death, and he dies. Now, this is another interesting aspect, because Strand then tells Howard that this is not going to be used to bring new people to them for say it's going to be built to keep people out. As you can see on the ground, there's a bunch of walkers being used to protect him. That's a very interesting aspect. One aspect, I think it's a cool way to go about it, but at the same time, it feels a little bit too reminiscent of the Sanctuary from the main show. I will have to see how they go about this, but it definitely feels a little bit like a rehash. Again, we'll have to see how things play out, but it just feels a little bit like it's recycling stuff that we've already seen within the main show. But I feel like it could be turned out to be an okay way of going about this. Overall, though, I feel like this was a solid episode. You get to see what's been going on with Strand. He's gone on a new path. You can see he's no longer willing to be with the rest of our group. He's willing to do things on his own. Good way of using Will, even though he didn't survive, to introduce us to this new world. I do think there's a possibility we'll see him in the second and later on the season, possibly in flashbacks with Alicia. That's definitely something I could see happening. But overall, I think this is a solid premiere. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely a great, solid start to the season. And super excited to see where this story can continue moving forward for Season 7. But let me know your thoughts and opinions for this episode in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, that's my review for Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 1, The Beacon. As always, if you guys the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit subscribe button down below, hit that bell icon down, and miss more Fear the Walking Dead content from me moving forward. And go for me on Instagram and Twitter, which is linked in that section on my YouTube channel. As always, my Vision Hero Boy Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.